cute? Am I slick?
Am I low-key bald looking?
Yes, which means my mission is accomplished. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lauren. If this is your first time here, please make sure you go ahead and stop what you're doing and hit the subscribe button. Like this video and leave me a comment to let me know what you want to see next time. Today I put together this very cute, classy, sleek bun for you. This is something that anyone can accomplish. If you want to figure out how I did it, then just keep watching. Okay y'all, so I'm going to jump right into it. This is basically my go-to sleek bun. This can work for any hair type, texture. I'm starting like this with some real crusty dusty hair, and I think I'm gonna do a side part sleek low bun, which I haven't done in a long time, but that used to be my go-to look. Usually I'm the type of person like I'll start wearing my hair a certain way, and the next thing you know I've worn my hair like that every day for a month, and I don't know. But okay, so I do have product in my hair, but it's like leftover from a couple of days ago, so I'm kind of just working my hands through so that I can start figuring out how I want to do this. I like a deep side part, so I'm going to start over here on my right side and just go straight back. Next, I'm going to split my hair into two sections, and that is just so that it'll be a little bit easier for me as I detangle. So in order to really get your hair flat and smooth, you need to make sure that you're not brushing over clumped up hair. Like, the hair needs to be smooth already before you apply the product, and the product is just supposed to be something that's gonna assist it in staying that way. I parted my hair and it's kind of dry on the inside. I did mist it earlier today, but the inside is dry, so I'm gonna use this spray bottle. And I do not want my ends to be super wet, you guys, because I don't want my bun to look small. So if your hair is much thicker than mine, the way you can accomplish this is by doing smaller sections. I recommend working from the back and forward. So for example, I would split the two pieces into smaller sections, maybe clip this away, and then work on detangling each layer because you want them to all lay smooth. Now, if your hair is extremely thick, you might need to go in and gel each layer so that it lays smooth as well. I'm just going to split mine into two sections because my hair is pretty easy to work with. Make sure it's all combed out. Okay, boom, now that's smooth. I'm gonna switch sides. Now this section, since it's much larger, I am gonna split this into two as well. I'm gonna go in with water at my roots. I'm gonna split this again and spray in the middle, and I'm gonna spray underneath. Again, I'm gonna go with my comb. Okay, so it's still dry in there and hard to comb through. So I guess I could do smaller sections, but I'm gonna show you guys how I realistically do mine. Okay, so now we're gonna start at the bottom. After I have that mostly worked through, and just make sure that it's smooth all the way through. Okay, awesome. So now that is detangled and smoothed out, I'm going to twist it up just so that I can keep everything moisturized while I work on the next section. And then I'm gonna move on to this top section right here and repeat the exact same process, which is making sure that the roots are saturated in water before I start the product and before I detangle it. Okay, I'm taking this top half and splitting it in the middle because I can feel that it's dry. So I'm just spraying. I'm gonna work with this section first. These ends are dry. I don't want my ends to be soaking wet, but I also don't want dry hair, so. Okay, now I'm going to undo this twist and see that this section is all blending together. Okay, so now that I have the two sections combed out, I'm gonna go back in with my spray bottle. I put a little bit more water in it, and I'm going to really just saturate the top layer and the back in the middle, because this is where it gets really thick at, is at my roots. Okay, now that's done. We have our hair already in two sections. I'm going to begin with the smaller section, which is on my right side, and I'm going to use Eco Styler like I usually do. You guys are probably figuring out the drill by now. So I'm gonna use the Eco Styler and I'm gonna start on the right side and I'm gonna go in with a pretty generous amount. I am keeping my hair separated this way just so that I can go ahead and get my shape down and apply the product without messing up the bun. So I'm going in with a heavy layer of the Eco Styler. I can feel that this is getting through to the bottom layers because I can feel it on my scalp. But if you have thicker hair and it's not getting down there, I recommend lifting up one layer and going into the underneath layers and applying gel as well so that it's smoothed all the way through. So realistically, you just have to listen to your hair and apply what's needed. Now that I've got the gel sitting on top, I'm gonna go back again with my comb and I'm gonna comb it through because I wanna make sure that the gel is getting to all the underneath layers as well. Now you can go in with your brush. And again, even with the brush, if you have thicker hair, brush the bottom layer smooth first and then pull the top layer on top of it and smooth that layer. Just work in sections and it will get flat, trust me. That got really flat and smooth and I'm very here for it. So now I'm gonna do the same thing to this side. This side I will work in layers a little bit. So doing this half in 2 sections because it's thicker. Applying the gel from the roots to about the nape of my neck, making sure to saturate the back because it's really thick there. And when I put this much product, it ensures that it's not coming up because I can get my hair to look temporarily flat, but my curls will come back up if I don't do the process the right way. So if you want a slick bun that's gonna last all day, make sure you take your time with it so that you can look smooth. I'm going back through with the comb and I'm combing it through. That feels pretty good and flat. I could use a little bit more gel in the very back, so I'm gonna go back in and reinforce. Don't be afraid to use a lot of product, and if the Eco Styler doesn't work for you, then find a gel that does work for you, but this works a little bit better for me because it's water-based, and the Got2b tends to give me really flat results, but it flakes up for me immediately. I'm gonna brush this layer. That feels really good and flat. And now I'm gonna go back into the top layer. I'm going to apply gel to the underneath side, like glue, to push them together. And then a bunch of gel to the top because this is the star of the show. So going through with my comb again, smoothing everything down. Okay, that feels pretty good. Y'all, not the bad. The bad. So repeating the same step again. I told y'all this is really easy. Start slicking. And then use your fingers to reinforce. You're wanting to press everything down. And I'm gonna use my comb to make sure I'm going in the right direction. Okay, I'm gonna release this side and I'm gonna start brushing everything together to shape the bun in the way that I want it to be. So I know that I want my bang to go this way, which means anything from my finger and back pretty much needs to go straight back. Okay, so I'm going with this pink brush. I'm actually gonna dip it into my gel because I need this back layer to stay smooth because this is where I always feel like I get that awkward hump if I'm not careful. So putting the gel on the brush and smoothing the entire back section, making sure it all feels flat. And then like these sections, I always like to put extra gel and brush those into because these are the spots that pop up for me first. So don't forget to get behind your ear and make sure everything is smooth and tucked. Also, you can use a very small comb and that will really ensure that you're getting flat to the roots. Dipping into the gel, going like behind my ear. So before I really put it in a bun, I'm gonna pull it back and use my big brush and go over everything again. Okay guys, I actually decided to use the small comb after all because I just want it to be very flat. So I'm using this small rat tail comb, and oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed. This is getting it like smooth, smooth. And behind the ears, don't forget that part. Now that I've done all that with the comb, look, there's no ponytail holder on it, and you see the top part is staying. That's what we want. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in with my big brush for the last time and just make sure that everything is perfectly smooth. Somewhere I stopped recording and I don't know where, but I essentially just smoothed everything back and put it in a regular ponytail. Now I'm gonna pull out my little baby hairs at the nape of my neck because those get caught in there and I hate the feeling of that pulling. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. I actually took out too much, but I can fix that easily, so no issue. But now that everything's put together in the ponytail holder, I'm gonna use my comb to just go back and reinforce everything and make sure everything is nice and tight. Now for me to do my bun. So since my hair is not as long as I would like it to be to create like a really big bun, what I like to do to try to manipulate it is I take my ponytail, and sometimes I'll blow dry it so that it doesn't have too much product in it, but I take my ponytail and I'm gonna twist it loosely, a little bit tighter at the end to just make sure that it's secure. Then I'm gonna take a tiny little rubber band in this hand and just hold on to this for a second. So while holding the end of my twist, I'm going to press in and pull out in effort to loosen the twist without letting it go. And then I figure out how it is that I want to shape my bun. Sometimes it's worth doing this a couple of times to get it how you want it, but that's the method that I use so that this can look a little bit chunkier, but it's better when your hair is not wet. So now I took this in, I'm still holding it, and I'm wrapping it up. And using this small ponytail holder, I'm going to secure it around the base 2 times. Trying to just get the base and not squish the bun. And then I'm gonna go in with my fingers and just pull this out a little bit if I can to try to make it look more full. Can you see, like so? So that's what we have. Now, last but not least, we're gonna do something with these baby hairs, and then that's gonna be it. Can't read the sideburns, y'all. I always forget those, and then I'm like, something's missing. And I'm like, yes, that's what it is. Again, remember the trick for the baby hairs is pulling hair forward so that you can push it back. That's cute. Make sure when you're securing everything, you put some behind your ears if you have these little pieces like so. Oh, that would be cute to leave that out, huh? And then after you secure it with product, make sure you go back in with that comb, the fine tooth comb, and tuck it in. Okay guys, this is the finished look. So as you can see, we are slick, okay? There's not a hair out of sight that I can see from here, which is good enough for me. And I definitely know for a fact that this is gonna last all day. So the only thing that I would say that you can do to this, if you feel like you need some extra reinforcements, is you could tie down your edges, put a little wrap around it. You can put some hairspray on it, or my favorite finishing touch is some oil sheen, okay? I feel like that's what just kind of like sets it off. Is it cute? Am I slick?
Am I low-key bald looking?
Yes, which means my mission is accomplished. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. This is the finished look. If you guys have any recommendations for me, go ahead and leave it for me in the comments. Make sure before you go that you like this video, you comment and you subscribe, and share with somebody who might need help getting their hair extra slick so I can help somebody out. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Love you. Mwah.